Cheers! Welcome to my channel. This is a daily tarot oracle reading, Tattletales from Tales from the Vector. My goal is to provide valuable information to empower you. This is a collective or general reading, so just be aware parts may or may not resonate with you. Take what works for you and leave the rest. Also, this is a timely reading, meaning if you're watching it at this time, it's the perfect time for you. If it has been some time since I've posted this, what was going on in your life at that time, because that will give you some more clarity regarding your situation. I'm going to begin with the underlying energy from the bottom of the deck, and we have the Two of Pentacles. So someone's busy, busy, busy. I'm familiar with that concept the last few days myself. And so this is about juggling time, juggling energy, juggling coin, pentacles. So the pentacles in the tarot represent being the health, wealth, and happiness on the 3D. And also, like, this basically means your lifestyle. So you could have all the money in the world, but you doesn't necessarily mean you have the lifestyle you want. So it's talking about a big part of that, of course, is coin. And so the pentacles are represented by coin. This is talking about someone that is doing a lot of multitasking. And multitasking is great, but it's saying make sure that you don't multitask to the point where you have more quantity than quality, and you have to repeat it and do it over again. This is in the loops represent the symbol of the infinity symbol. So this sometimes can be when you're actually juggling two different extremes. So it could be like work hard, play hard, and it also could be juggling coins, juggling two projects, juggling your home life and your business life, juggling, going to the gym or going and watching a movie in bed and eating a tub of ice cream, that kind of energy. So this is talking about whatever project you're working on right now is gaining momentum. And so this is, you notice the waves in the background, the ships are getting bigger. So it's just saying be careful that you don't multitask to the point where you have to do things over again, and make sure if you're juggling that you're only juggling your options, not your morals. And we're going to begin with the first card here. I'm just going to double check that I have that lined up correctly. I do. I was doing a different kind of reading earlier. So I just want to be sure. So here we have the Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups represents wish coming in. This is saying you are very highly favored. This person is sitting on the stage, and it's either he has these 9 cups above his head or they're behind him. So this is either already happened, that your wish that you have these 9 cups, or you're really on the way to having that. Now the thing about when you wish for something, it means you don't have it. So what this card is saying is stay very focused right now, because you're so close, and you don't want to be distracted by anything, so that you don't get these 9 cups, because in the tarot there only are 10. So if you get the 9, then the last one will be easier to obtain for sure. And the cups represent love in the tarot. So this often is romantic love, but in this case it's more because they're lined up like this, and you're generally not romantically in love with that many cups. It's more like what you love, what you love to do, what you love to be, where you love to be, that kind of energy. So it's like your partner, your children. I love my home, I love my country, I love my career, I love my co-workers, I love my pets, I love my hobby, just like that. It's like just having a lot of fulfillment in life. And you can notice from the body language here. In body language, when you sit with your feet out like this, you're going to be leaking your energy. And so this is saying, if you don't leak your energy and tire yourself out, so that a lot of races are lost in the last lap. So especially right now, we have that fire horse energy coming in on the 17th. And it's really stirring people up. Hey, let's giddy up. That kind of energy. And it's a kind of energy, it's very high-spirited and wanting to set really high achievements and just being like really in love and having a lot of passion and a lot of heart. And the danger is it can also be very impulsive and distract you from what you're doing as well. It can be where you set your goals so high and you give yourself such a short period of time that you burn yourself out before you get there. So this is saying, you know, just stay focused. You notice the body language on the top is very different from the bottom. This is someone who's very, like, this is a closed, he's not covering his heart here. It's kind of interesting. He's almost making an infinity symbol here. So it's just talking about really, you know, a lot of races are lost in the last lap. And so you just want to stay in the game. You're almost there. Then we have the Three of Pentacles. So the Three of Pentacles has been coming up a lot for a lot of people. It's kind of like after the new year, we can feel that energy coming in, like, let's go, and wanting to expand our horizons. The wands represent action and the element of fire. So it's this, I know that this does look like it's sand, but it's actually the sun shining on it, making the water really golden. There's ships coming in here. And so this card is saying, you know, this person feels like the urge to expand, you know, and he feels like, hey, my ships are coming in. I might just hop on one, go for a little adventure. This card is talking about conviction beyond a doubt. So this person is standing their ground. They've got a wand protecting their heart here. And there's, this is the Seven of Wands. So it's just representing energy of, you know, of standing in your conviction. No, it's like, I know what I know. I know that this is what I want. This is the action I'm taking. He's got it close to his heart here. And this could be competition, or it could be other people's actions, or other, you know, wands that he's planted. But he has one shoe on and one boot on. And so that's saying he's kind of standing, he's on high ground, but he's standing in between like two different worlds almost, or two different decisions, or that kind of energy. It's more, I feel like it's talking about the difference from 2025 to 2026, like about moving forward in a different way. 2025 and 2026 was not just a division of the years, you know, just moving from one year to another. It was like the end of a decade cycle in 2025 and moving into a new decade-long cycle in 2026. So the energy, you may have noticed, it was quite noticeable this year, and that's how a lot of people are feeling right now. So this is when you know what you know, and that you know this is the action that you're going to take, and it doesn't, you'll fight for it if you have to, and you're kind of in between. You don't have it yet, but you know you can get there. And then we have the Three of Swords. So this is, you know, clearly not the most cheerful card. This is a heart with three swords through it. When you looked at first, it's like, oh my goodness, like that's horrible. And then when you look again, you realize, oh, well, you know, the heart is really a lot bigger than the swords, you know, in context. So these are more like pinpricks or like nails. So some people feel like this is saying, oh, you've been like Eros, the Cupid that has the bow and arrow with love. It's some people read this card as maybe you've been hit by Eros angels, like you're feeling in love. I don't feel that way. It's so much because I feel like this card represents maybe loving too much. And what I mean by that is we have two swords here, and then we have a third one going through the middle. And this sometimes can represent that there was infidelity, like that there was a third person involved in a relationship where there should have been two, basically. And this heart is also in the throat. And so the throat, it quite often can mean that there have been words that have been said that have been really really harsh words said. Or it could be saying that this person is too afraid to speak their truth. That's the kind of energy. The underlying energy for this card is that a potentially heartbreaking decision has to be made. And so the swords are about your thoughts and your mind and your mental intelligence. So we'll look into that. We'll see what's going. Okay, so there definitely is disappointment in love. This card is representing this energy. These 3 cups are sitting here, and he's sitting right underneath the tree here, and he's on higher ground. So I feel like this is what the in-between is. Okay, this is becoming more clear. I get it. So you have 9 cups here and already, and we're feeling very fulfilled. And then something happened, and this is like, I feel this is representing a couple, and then there is a 3rd wand added to the mix here. And so it's rocked your world. Like, it's like you got 1 foot in one world and you've got 1 foot in the other. You're making a decision, and it's a potentially heartbreaking decision, because it looks like there was infidelity, and you're protecting your heart. Now that you know what you know, you have conviction beyond a doubt the direction you need to take, and you're getting to the point where you can take it. And it is about some sort of disappointment in love. Here we have 3 cups, and I feel that that represents these 3 swords. Now, this can represent that you gave your partner 3 chances, and 3 strikes, you're out, and no, I'm not interested in some more of the same old shift. This can also represent that there was 3 people involved in a relationship where there should have been 2. And that's kind of the energy that that this is representing the universe, God, handing a cup of love and saying, here, don't sit under that tree forever. Like, you got to come out of there sooner or later. And here is another cup of love. It'll be better for you. You'll see, you can recover from this. And he's like, I don't want to take I don't want another cup of love if it's going to be the same old shift. Like, is this going to be the same as this? So this could represent 3 different relationships as well that all turned out to be unsatisfactory in love. We'll put it that way. Disappointing. And it could have been because of juggling morals. And then we have the Page of Swords coming in. So the Page of Swords represents someone that works for the king and queen in the court in the old days, and they would generally come from a family that was, around the area, that was high society, and even someone distantly related to the king and queen. So they would take messages and run little errands and stuff, and they would generally start between the age of 7 to 14, and then when they got older and they were like 21, if they could afford a horse, they might be considered for knighthood. And then, of course, they would be going far and wide with messages, from kingdom to kingdom, and also protecting the castle. The Page of Swords is bringing in some sort of form of communication. And of course, in the old days, that would be in person with a note or whatever. But these days, that communication could be many forms, because we do have so many forms of communication now. It could be in person, but it's more likely that it will be a letter. It could be a text message, a phone call. It could be a social media post, something you see on the news, that kind of energy. And so this is representing some sort of probably some information regarding this heartbreaking decision that needs to be made, and we'll see what's happening. So maybe he's just sitting under the tree waiting for this information to come regarding his situation. And then we have, okay, I feel like he got the information and he's out of here. he's I'm done. I'm going to take God's cup of love and I'm going off to calmer shores with God. And it's saying, this is the Six of Swords, and it's saying that he's in the boat, and he has, it looks like a child with, or she, and this is again 3 people, but this quite often represents you and your inner child and needing to heal. And so like healing from some sort of relationship. And quite often we have a lot of subconscious thoughts regarding relationships that can really get in the way. So perhaps he's decided, okay, I'm just going to go off to calmer waters with God. You can see the emotional waters are here, like the rough water. And this is like more smooth and going again to a distant location. This long pole, like because of the way this boat is built, this boat is going to have to be, he's going to have to dig deep to shove off, you know, and be able to get moving. So this is talking about the energy of having to dig deep within yourself and maybe face something that's happened here and heal from it. Yeah, so that's the energy that you know, and this is the best thing you could do in a situation like this, rather than making a bunch of decisions, deciding, you know what, I need to maybe get away for a little bit, and I'm going to go meditate, and I'm going to isolate myself and just, you know, pray, meditate, and hang my mind up on the wall, because that's kind of like when you're overthinking something, and just put my mind to rest and just pray and meditate and see what my intuition tells me what to do in this case. And he's in a church by the looks of things, and on the stained glass wall there's the word Pax, and that means peace. And so this is like he just wants to get some peace of mind after receiving this information so that he can make a really strong choice. All right, and then we have, yeah, I just knew this card was going to be next, being left out in the cold. And look at that, like the energy is, the reason he is in this church is like, you have two people here that have been left out in the cold. So this represents someone that feels like left out of society, or left out maybe of the marriage. So definitely it feels like someone cheated on, if this is you, someone cheated on you. Or if, you know, it's the other person, then you cheated on them, sort of energy. But this is your reading, so I'm going with, you know, you're the one who is making all these decisions here. Because I don't want to be trying to read two people here, or like two different scenarios. I'm going to stay in the one to begin with, and then see what else comes up, and we'll have better information. This is a pyramid I'm building. This is the bottom line, and this is the tools that you have to be able to move forward. So you do have like really good sense that you recognize this is not a decision you want to make in the heat of the moment. This is a decision that you want to have a little bit of time to absorb the information so that you can make a strong choice. And I feel that this is just confirming that you feel like you were left out in the cold in a love relationship, and that clearly someone was cheating. And it's also talking about, like, if you choose divorce, you're going to lose half your assets, kind of energy. So it's kind of like I'm getting this energy saying this is so unfair. Like, it's just so unfair. And, you know, this energy here is just, you know, when it snows, and it, like right now, all across North America, well, not all across, because where I am, I'm very fortunate. We're having like -2 weather and the sun is out. We don't even have any snow on the ground, but I did my share in the prairies in Canada for many years, and I moved so many times and then ended up back there, you know, as sometimes happens. But at first the snow is so beautiful, and you can have, like, it's pretty, you know, and it's nice to change seasons. But after about 3, 4, 5 months of it, and when it gets to the point where it is now, where there's so much snow that the grids are down, there's a lot of swaths through a lot of states. I was surprised when I looked on the map, you know, like, you know, several states, like, and I guess they're the states that generally are heating their homes through electricity. And so when the grid goes down, like, they don't have an ulterior way to heat their homes. And so it's causing a lot of problems, all the snow, and that's the kind of energy. If you already have a lot to do on your plate, and you add the snow to it, it can be really challenging because to get your car out to get to work, you have to shovel your driveway. And you might have just shoveled it before you went to bed, but it snowed all night. So now you got to get up, at least an hour or two earlier so that you can get the snow out so that you can get your car out. And then it's navigating to get to work, and then it snows all day. When you come home, you can't even get in your driveway. So you got to, after working all day, you have to shovel for another hour or two to get your car into the driveway. And in the prairies, you have to plug your car in to some sort of electrical source so that you can have heat if your car is outside, so that it heats the motor, because if it gets that cold, it's just not going to start. And there's no guarantee that it will start. And the roads are icy. It's just so much. And it just like, if it's, a really good plan is, if you live somewhere where there's a lot of snow, is take up some sort of snow sport. But the point is that everyone can handle a little bit of it, and you can enjoy it and all of that. But if it piles up, then it can cave your roof in, literally. And that's kind of like this energy that I'm feeling. It's just like, on top of everything else, it's snowing. That kind of energy. But the sun is coming out and will melt it away. There we have it. And this is interesting that the sun's coming out, because what the sun, this is God, representing God. This is the happiest card in the deck. So yay, we have, like, once this is over, I feel like once you make this heartbreaking decision, then your life is going to change. And that's the energy. And this is saying, like, you were born to be happy. And look at, you're riding a little pony here. You've got like your no reins, like no saddle, no worries, carrying this heavy banner. All the sunflowers are out and they're turning with the sun, and you've got the warmth of the sun on you. So this is also saying that the truth will come out about this, and it will be all right. You'll be okay. You'll be able to handle it. In Canada, again, I'm going back, like, if there's been, like, this quite often represents there's some, tactics being used by other people causing you to be, like, in this energy. And of course, if there was a threesome there, but this may be deeper than that. It might be the person that was cheating with your partner was a good friend of yours, or, and the whole town knew and nobody told you, and you just feel like betrayed by everybody at this point. And that's what that's the energy that I'm picking up. But what this is saying, like, in the spring, when the snow melts, it's like lazy dog owners when they don't pick up after their dog every day, or even at least every few days during the winter, and the winter lasts 3 or 4 months. In the spring, when that snow melts, all the shift is there for everybody to notice on a very public level. And it smells really bad, like really bad. They even have companies that you can hire to come and clean it up for you in the spring, because it's and it's exposed to everybody. And that's what I feel like. So it's saying, if there was any words said about you, and you feel like your reputation was ruined because of this, and everybody's talking about you, and it's like really nasty gossip, don't worry. You're going to, God is saying, you're going to, the truth is going to come out about what really happened, and these people are going to be publicly exposed. So everybody will know. You're not going to have to worry about it. If it's public enough, it'll be on the news. That kind of energy. And the Emperor is here. So the Emperor energy represents all 4 kings rolled into one person. The Emperor is sitting on his throne, and he's all about performance. He wears his armor underneath his cloak. He's ready for action at a moment's notice. He's the alpha male of all alpha males. And whatever occupation he's in, he's at the top. And this is someone, I feel like it's representing someone very wise that you could go to for advice, or it could be representing some sort of judicial process or something. This card is conviction beyond a doubt, and it could also be, a prison conviction. So there could have been, it could be that there was more, like there was some juggling of money here or something, and you were blamed for it. This could also represent that you were in a partnership, and it really doesn't have to do with business. It has to do with your business and what you love, because really we don't have a real romantic here. And maybe your business partners put you in a position where they were juggling pentacles and morals, and you're the one who's being blamed for it. Some sort of energy like that. Because this card isn't, you know, like as I said, this isn't so much about romantic love, but loving your life because everything's going perfectly well, and that's kind of where you were, and then you weren't. So this and this can quite often represent franchise type, like entrepreneur energy. So let's see. I'm almost swaying more towards the energy that this was like a partnership, like a business partnership or something like that. And it could be that there was some juggling of money, and it wasn't in a legal way, because the emperor is generally someone, like if the emperor comes in a situation like this and he's sitting right on this, and maybe this is someone in your family or whatever, and you have to make this heartbreaking decision to, you know, like deal with this. Yeah. Okay, so let's look at it from that perspective for a bit too. It can be, this is a general reading, so as I said, take what works for you. You'll know if you were in love and now you're like in that situation, or if you're in a business and you were in that situation. And then we have the Magician coming in after that. So do you notice, like right here, as soon as the sun comes out, as soon as you make that decision, I'm going off to calmer waters with God, I'm going to meditate on this information because I want to make sure I make the right choice here. I don't really know what to do. This is sitting right on the disappointment as well. Then the sun comes out because you're with God, and someone's coming in, and this can represent like someone that is going to be able to empower you. And then it's an energetic upgrade. Now you're like on a different, like now you're bringing, you know, using the tools that you have down here, and you're able to bring what you want down to earth. And create a more of a pleasant garden kind of energy. And what's interesting here also is that this magician is wearing an Ouroboros. And an Ouroboros is when the snake is biting its tail. So it's going in a loop around his waist. And it can represent, don't get caught in a wishing loop. You want to be able to move forward and take some action to bring what you want down to earth. You have the tools you need to build this garden. That's the energy. And he's pointing at this right here. The magician is pointing at conviction beyond a doubt. So that's you saying, I'm going to withstand this. I'm going to have to make this decision. I'm going to have to see how it goes. But I am going to be able to be strong enough to be able to get through this. And it also can mean conviction beyond a doubt, like in the court of law, if it has something to do with this. We will look some more. Now the Hierophant is coming in. So the Hierophant is traditional structure. When the Hierophant comes in, it generally is talking about like authority figures from traditional structures. So this can be talking about on a religious end, popes and bishops and like cardinals, people very high up in the church. And then this can be talking about also in the court of law, like Supreme Court judge, that kind of energy. This can be talking about senators and, you know, people that can empower you. This definitely can represent court. So that's kind of an interesting turn this has taken. Yeah, I'm wondering if the cup of love is also maybe your partner was involved with the people that did this kind of energy. Could be for some of you. And then we have, okay, so now we have the King of Swords. So yes, this is talking about this energy right here. So this is talking about get a good lawyer. This card, the King of Swords, represents someone who earns their living using their intellect and by using their words. And so that quite often represents lawyers and that kind of energy. And this is saying, get a good lawyer and there will be conviction beyond a doubt. And you will be found innocent beyond a doubt. This is saying whatever people are saying about you, it feels like that there were some people tried to set you up. And so this card could be that there was an investigation, because he's looking at, this is the only page that's not looking at the sword. And so this is someone who has the information, but now they're using their intuition and they're thinking outside the box. So they're investigating, that kind of energy. Interesting. So how it changed here. And so this is talking about a King of Swords being involved in this. The King of Swords is very much aware that, you know, actions do speak louder than words. And also, and when you look at this reading now, there's only these two action cards here now. You know, as we're going along, this is more about, okay, what's happening. And so the King of Swords is known for, like, he understands words are, you know, talk is cheap, actions speak louder than words. That, you know, this is someone that represents this conviction beyond a doubt. So this is you making sure that you're represented properly in a court of law. And I feel that you have someone who's advising you and saying, okay, I've got the guy for you for this, da-da-da, like that. Then we have the energy of the page is coming in now with information regarding pentacles. And so it could have been there was some juggling of pentacles, because the only cards that we have here with pentacles is juggling them and then having way less money than you should have. And now some information coming in. And again, this could be court papers, this could be someone's been arrested, this could be indictments being made, it could be all sorts of energy, but it's about the pentacle. And generally, when the Page of Pentacles delivers a message, it's usually a solid offer in that the information that they have is accurate and it's been looked at. And okay, so this is the information coming in regarding these pentacles that I feel pentacles went missing. And then look at this. We've got the King of Pentacles sitting here right on this energy right here on the heartbreak. So it looks like this is about some sort of financial problem that's come up. Now, this could represent bankruptcy or having to claim bankruptcy, that kind of energy after a business failed and it cost you your relationship. That's another scenario that can be coming up. But in any case, your decision to go inward and really get some good help is a really strong choice. We have the energy here is the tools you have. These are the obstacles. And now this is talking about having the courage to do what you need to do. So the King of Pentacles, that could represent the person that, that someone that was involved. It could have, you know, in this missing money going, and in the heartbreak that you're feeling. It could represent that that's where you felt like you were at, and now, like, you know, you're here, and you know, that kind of energy. Or it could be talking about what was taken here there is good news from the court, and you're going to receive what's owed to you, kind of energy, and your name is going to be cleared, that kind of energy. And this is happening very soon. You're on your divine path now. And this is like, there's no reins here. This is like, okay, this is a bulldozer coming through. This is like, dun, dun, dun. You know, like there's no, like you can see, this is solid. This is on its way. So this is talking about clearing karma, sometimes between people as well. But it's also, it's almost like it's running over the disappointment. Better get out from underneath that tree there. That's the kind of energy. And then we have fulfillment here. So it's a mixed bag here, because this card quite often represents marriage, but it can just represent commitment with other partners. And look at, there's 4 here. And, you know, there's these three and then this fourth one. So it's hard to say, but this is saying that there's some sort of commitment being made now, or the commitment that was made is being cleared up. And so this is talking about going through that portal, and it's the beginning of fulfillment is what it is. Generally what it means is you have the money for a down payment on the castle, but you're still going to have to make mortgage payments. It's kind of that kind of energy. And also seeing yourself being happy again, having the fulfillment. So I feel like this often represents the law enforcement also, because of the black and whites and just the energy of the karma, you know, being cleared. This is about, again, about karma being cleared, and so is this. And the Hierophant has his hand in the form of a blessing. So I feel that, and that's the judge, like that would be the judge, and this would be the lawyer. The information coming in, you're getting your pentacles back, it's happening very soon, and you'll feel fulfillment again. So this is can be talking in a few ways here too. It's so interesting. This is I really appreciate that this reading. And I want you to appreciate this also, that it's talking about several scenarios. So take what works for you, and you know, you would know your situation, what applies to you and what doesn't. Or maybe you're finding out some information and you're thinking, oh, okay, that's what. So the Page of Cups now, we have a lot of pages, but we don't have any knights bringing in. So the pages represent more like, I feel like apprentices, you know, secretaries getting in contact, that kind of energy. And the Page of Cups is studying this cup, and it could be this one here, and this could be the truth coming in about what happened with these cups here. And there was, if it's supposed to be a cup of love, and it's like you know, generally I read this, that the Page of Cups knows that there's plenty of fish in the sea, but he's chosen this cup and he wants to focus on this fish and put all his energy into this fish. But it's a fish out of water, so it feels like maybe there's something stinky here in your love life kind of energy. This could almost, I almost feel like this could represent like a romance scam, you know? Like that kind of energy, where someone comes in and they present themselves as, you know, because this energy, plenty of fish in the sea, this could represent dating sites, right? Online dating sites, and being scammed by someone from an online dating site, that kind of energy. Yeah, and wondering where the heck all your money's going. And you see that quite often, like where people, you know, they don't even really speak to the person. It's all by texts or, you know, WhatsApp is quite often the case when it comes to these schemes. And that energy is where, oh, they always need money and they just had an accident. Could you send them a few thou, you know? And every time you're supposed to meet, another disaster happens and they're in some foreign country and they have no internet service, like reliable, so they can only talk to you at certain times. That's the kind of energy I'm picking up. So this is, and with AI out there the way it is now, the schemes are becoming more and more sophisticated, really. You know, banking schemes and that kind of, you know, all the schemes that are out there. Because this is an energy of saying, hey, I worked this hard and there's only one pentacle here. And I feel like this could be, because you got your money back, this is representing the scammers. And one of them might have been a fishy lover. That kind of energy. And he's like, man, I put all that work into it, and you know, all that, like now all I've got left is this pentacle and probably a criminal record and maybe a conviction of a jail sentence. That didn't work out so well. That's the kind of energy I'm picking up. Okay, and so this is reconciliation. So this is talking about, it can be talking about several things here, but this can be talking about forgiveness. And quite often, like if someone's scammed like this, it's really hard. Like if you are in a situation where you've ever thought, really thought that the person you were with really did care about you, and then you find out that the only reason they were dating you is because you had money, that kind of energy, that happens to so many people, and it causes people to feel like they have they can't forgive themselves first and foremost. So this reconciliation can quite often be this energy here is what I'm picking up. So this reconciliation can be, that you need to be able to forgive yourself for not catching on to the scam, and also healing some childhood wounds. Again, because I was picking that energy up from the beginning, that being too trusting, or because these white flowers, they represent innocence. And when you first look at this card, it looks like, oh, there's a couple kids playing in the yard and there's someone watching over them. But then you look closer and you're like, hey, that's a gnome, and that's a lady, a real small woman. And you know what? The small woman there, she looks young, but then if you look at her face, is she young or is she old? Because she looks like she could be an old hag. She doesn't seem to, it's hard to tell. And she's wearing a white mitt. And the white mitt represents that she doesn't want to get her hands dirty. And so, someone's offering a cup of love, but it's an illusion. Now, the flowers are white, and they are actually from the nightshade family. They're datra. And the datra is a very beautiful flower. It looks like trumpets. But the problem is datra is highly poisonous, so you would never give it to children to play with, and you need to keep it away from pets. But sometimes shamans use it in ceremony so that it brings on visions, and it's a very dangerous thing, really, because it's toxic, and so you wouldn't have children playing with these cups with all this poisonous flowers in it, right? And then when you look again, the watchman isn't even watching over him; he's walking away. So it's that kind of energy. Where there was a big illusion being created, and it can be a lot of people worked hard to create this illusion, So it's talking about being able to reconcile within yourself to get your confidence back, and that kind of energy. It's a real cruel way to treat people, because the point is to make the person doubt themselves and be in this energy where they don't know what's happening, and they can't understand it, because there's more than one person involved in the scheme. And so, if someone, you go to someone and you say, I don't know, there's something fishy going on here, and they're, oh no, that's just your imagination, and don't worry about it. They'd never do that kind of energy. And that's what I'm picking up. Now, this also can represent a reunion of some kind with someone from the past. And this could also represent that this happened in the past, and you're now finally healing from it and getting your money back or whatever, because judgment's been called. Yeah. So this could be someone that was from your past, from your childhood, and you grew up with them and you really trusted them, that kind of energy. So it's talking it can also be talking about the person wanting to reconcile with you. And that energy would be up to you. But my thought on that is, if someone shows you who they are the first, believe them the first time. There's judgment being called on this. And the energy is your ancestors have been watching this. And if they're alive on earth, or if they're have crossed the veil, they're like, whoa, thank goodness. Finally, this judgment is coming in. So this can represent an end of the cycle. And of course, if there's legal matters, it could take a long time for this to resolve. And then maybe a cup of love comes in. And that's where we're back to this energy again. Because you can imagine, if you've been scammed in that way and it involved a bunch of people that you knew, you're not going to be like, oh yeah, let's do the love thing again. I'm ready to be vulnerable again. It's a healing process. And the thing is, though, that is important to recognize, that once you do that healing, then you're way less vulnerable to those kinds of scams. And people can be all ages and have a lot of life experience. You see it a lot when people, they say love is blind. And if people are telling you exactly what you want to hear, and maybe people from your childhood have been telling them, oh, say this and say that because this happened to them when they were 5 and this happened to them when they were 8, and then they were dating this person and they did this, like that kind of energy, it can, some people put a lot of effort into these things instead of just going out and getting a regular career like other people. They do this instead. I don't know. I don't get it, but it usually ends up in the end being a waste of time because eventually the karma catches up, right? So, but this is talking now. Yeah, that's what this is saying. You're ready for a new love now. So this, once you heal and make sure you do, and that you are in a position again to be vulnerable, that this is talking about the give and take in life, basically. And this is talking about the environments that you're in, and being really like you actually, this is saying you are the sum of your environment. So what that means is like she has her hand on 6 pentacles, and the 3 behind her, that's what she's willing to play with, like to give to other people, to give to charity, to invest in other things. But she always keeps her hand on at least this ratio. And Nikola Tesla, who is a major genius, said if you knew the beauty of the 369, then you would have the key to the universe. And that's what the falcon on her arm there represents, having the foresight to make the right choices, and to having the life experience to understand when to invest and when not to invest, and to check into things more carefully. And so that kind of energy. So I feel like that now the story is turning around. Yeah, there we have it. So, and I feel like you're, now that you have your money, you want to move and you're ready to expand your horizons. It's almost like you were in this position and then boom, something hit. We didn't see a tower here, but definitely like, when you start the reading off like this and then you're like this, definitely something happened, there. And so this is talking about kind of the journey that you have to go through to heal, and also to get your money back and your reputation back. That's the energy. And so this is saying, okay, I have accomplished what I need to here. I'm off. He's holding the globe in his hand and he's like, I'm ready to go to a new place, start over. I've done everything I want here. This one's planted. I'm taking this wand, and I am moving forward and to distant shores, away from these people. And now that makes you a star. There you go. So this is that energy. Sometimes, and it sounds like, oh, come on, you can't make a negative into a positive, and you can't. But what you can do is you can get neutral to the extremes, and being neutral to the worst case scenario, and being neutral to the best case scenario. And so that anywhere in between, as the pendulum swings, you're in a position where you can make strong choices. So don't confuse neutrality with indifference. Indifference is when you don't care. Neutrality is when you allow yourself to go inward and meditate and pray and don't not make impulsive choices. Make really strong choices so that it benefits you, like hiring someone that can deal with this, that kind of energy. And so the star brings their own special quality into the planet. And so the North Star means that you're on your destined path again now. So this is really awesome energy. And you've got your foot in the universal waters. You are pouring, and maybe you start an advocate group up and you help other people, that are in this situation. It's amazing what, that's what I was saying about the positive out of a negative. It may have pushed you into your life path, what you really came here to do. And the only way you could totally understand how challenging this is to be in a position where you've experienced it firsthand. That's the best way to understand what's going on. This is following your North Star, pouring your special qualities mixed in with the universe onto the earth. And this represents the pentacles. So there's 5 streams here, and pentacles have 5 points on them. Yeah, I feel like this inspired you to start something up that is going to empower other people in the same situation. Yeah, there we go. So that this is representing competition, but I feel like it's representing this energy down here, what you went through, and being in a place now where you want to empower others that are in this situation. You have this knowledge, could be an internet group or whatever, but I really feel like that's what you're doing, and it's inspired you to do that. And it's really interesting how people get inspired sometimes. Like sometimes when a bunch of people gang up on another person like that, it just pushes them into their destiny. and that's just, and look at, we've got using your intuition, sitting in between. Look at the extremes here, being in this energy and then being in this energy at the top of the pedestal. And this is pre-Empress energy. So this is talking about like almost having like all 4 qualities of all the queens in you. You're just about there. You're very close to being in that Empress energy. And this is the High Priestess sits on the throne next to God, in between those pillars of, this actually represents the devil and Jesus Christ. And so this is the energy of the crescent moon, using your intuition. So kind of an interesting reading, but I really do feel that when you talk to a lot of people that are advocates for other people, it's because they've gone through something like this, and they're determined to make sure. And we can see a lot of situations like that on the news right now. And so it's admirable, the courage that people, that it stirs in them. So this is talking about wishes, and this is going from the past to the top back down. So wishes, you were so close to having what you thought, everything you want, and then heartbreak hit. And it involved, you had the traditional structure, like courts had to get involved in this. And I feel like you had to hire a lawyer, and then judgment was brought down, and you were found in favor. This is when you received this 10th cup. And this could represent that there was someone involved in this that was also a romantic partner of yours. And this is saying you're ready, like you're healed at this point now. You're healed from this, and you've learned so much from the situation that you're also really pouring. This cup is constantly pouring, like it's like a fountain. It's constantly. And look, it has the dove here. So if you are, this has brought a lot of peace to your life, and you're back in this energy of what you love. You're following your North Star now. And you have moved, like you've moved on. And I do feel there was some sort of romance or something scheme in there. But I don't know if this represents whether or not you want to get in another commitment or not. But it's saying you could if you want to. And this is, your mind's at rest, like you feel healed now. And because you went off with God and healed yourself. And that's what we need to do sometimes. We need to go inward and heal. Sometimes that inner child pops up at, at the weirdest times in our life, right? And right before you think, hey, I have everything I ever wanted, and then bang, you find this out. There was no tower though, so that's interesting. It wasn't sudden. It was like happening, is what I'm getting. Because if it was like a sudden, usually like there's a tower, no tower here. It's like it just gradually came upon you. Oh, this is what's happening. And so if you have business partners that were siphoning money or something like that, it could represent that energy as well. Yeah, it's very different. This is like really, the kind of energy because of this energy here. I just feel like it was people you've known since you were a child. It's that kind of energy. like, and that you also knew adolescent. So these are people that, like that would be very hard. If there was a whole bunch of people that you knew, that you grew up with, involved in this, that's a lot. That's a lot. Okay, let's clarify this. I just want to see what is that about? Like, what is that about? You know. Oh, there, it's ready to come out. All right, so I'm going to clarify with my oracle cards, and this is Tales from the Vector, Talils, so Tales. And I have a website, talesfromthevector.com, and I have a gallery on there with all the paintings. I started it in 2007, and I completed it in 2020. There's 64 paintings, and they're featured in the gallery, and they each have a number on them, and that's what's on these cards here. I've had them out and about at psychic fairs in the past, but I didn't have the whole thing done, and so now I'm ready to print the deck, but I have to have the book that goes along with it. I have most of the information, but I'm playing with the cards now so that I can so that I can have the better information. What better way than to play with them? So this is intent. So the karmic space of intent is on this here. So it could have started out like it's the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So it could have started out that you had someone that, you know, was from your childhood, and you really you trusted them, and they were maybe in the banking industry. So you were like, hey, I've known this person, you know, for 20 years now, and you gave them more authority than you would normally give someone, because you were so sure. And so the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And then we have the shooting star. And so this is like, if you're wishing for something, it means you don't have it. So you have to continue to put the work into it. And I feel like that's where, you know, things were going along so well that you were thinking, you know, you weren't thinking like, oh, so this could be a scam or something like that. And so when you wish upon a star, you still have to put some work into it, because like if you just wait for it to drop in your lap, it's probably not likely. So this is talking about having a good attitude. And you know, part of a good attitude in business is educating yourself about every aspect of your business and not just trusting people. It's a hard lesson to learn, but it happens a lot. A lot. And then this is the Leo energy, and we do have a full moon coming up on the 1st of February, and this will be out on the 27th. So this reading is talking, the Leo full moon is talking about this kind of energy. It's talking about needing to be able to express your own energy, and like to look after yourself first before you look after others. And I feel like that's part of the problem was here too, is that you were just very generous, and you might have appeared to be very naive because you want to be innocent. Like you felt very comfortable with these people because you've known them for so long and they were friends of yours. So this is that's why business and friends don't mix very well. But this wasn't even business, this was a scheme. So you know how, and it's something that a lot of people, like there's at least 5 people that put a lot of effort into it. Or, you know, there's 4 here, and then there's like this energy here, you know. So when these cards come up, I just want to make it really clear that I'm not talking about, oh, it was a Leo that did it. It's not what my readings are about. I'm talking about the state of being of that zodiac sign. So every sign has its specialty, and the Leo energy is the leadership role, and I'm born to lead kind of energy. And so it's talking about that, this full moon coming up on the 1st is talking about that energy. And it's also talking about not being impulsive, because the stage of life of Leo is, you know, teenage boys being very impulsive, not getting all the facts, and just going on, hey, they're my bud, they'd never do that to me kind of energy. And then we have justice coming in on the heartbreak. So again, it's saying that, you know, the Hierophant is going to make sure justice comes in. We have Aries energy. So this is the energy here of almost feeling like your innocence was stripped from you, because this is like Aries is the very first card in the first sign in the zodiac, and it represents the newborn baby, and it's represented by a ram, a sheep, ram, and the ram it's because babies come in head first, and this can talk about having kind of a stubborn energy about you, because you might even be in the sign of Aries. But this is talking about learning how you're here now, and this is about the learning of it. Are you going to just sit there and be, or are you going to do? And so that's anytime that you tackle projects. And if you were at the Nine of Cups here, and then you're getting a King of Pentacles amount of money back, you knew what you were like. You were successful, and that's why you were chosen. People don't go after people that aren't successful, because they don't have anything worth going after. So it's kind of that energy, and I do feel that your intuition was telling you there's something wrong here, but you didn't want to believe that people that you knew. So it's like the energy of what I don't know won't hurt me. And yes, your friends are, shift heads, some of them. And then, okay, so there was temptation came in, and they purposely left you out in the cold. They made sure you didn't know what was going on. This was a collaboration of effort of people that knew you very well, and they collaborated because they had that knowledge. Let's take this money. It's like taking money from a baby. And some people are very proud of that. So this is temptation, and they went after the temptation and left you out in the cold. And those are the tactics that I'm talking about. When there's a whole bunch of flakes that get together, it can collapse your house. So this energy is talking about manipulation, and you're never going to get the truth from the devil. So I always cover it to see what minions did the devil send in to do his dirty work, or did God send someone in? And there was an empress that was sent in. Pre-empress energy here. Interesting. It could have been an emperor and an empress. Like, that's really sad if that's the case, because then we're talking about people that are higher up in power doing this. So it looks like that's what it's saying, though. So for some of you, that may be true. And then we have the Libra energy coming in. So yeah, I do feel like this was like someone either that you were contemplating marrying, or that you did marry, and it's excuse me. Okay, that's a way of clearing energy. So it's kind of yawning is just saying that it's just a confirmation of letting go. Yawning is an amazing way to let go. So this is talking about it calms the nervous system down, boom, right away. So this is talking about being mature enough to make decisions regarding this, marriage, big commitments with business and all of that, and really anticipating the journey. And because when we have expectations that things are going to go a certain way, it causes limitations. So your expectation was that your friends weren't shift heads, and they were. That's basically, and your other could have been that, there could have been an emperor and an empress involved, and if that's the case, then that would be someone that you really trusted. So I can see how this could be very disappointing for you. And then, yes, requiring a lot of devotion to stay on your path and not to become really bitter about it, The best revenge is living well. And so sticking to your path, and that was the smartest thing you could do, is go to God, because God said to you, don't you worry, I've been watching them. And you will have, I'm going to send someone to you when all of this is over and you've healed from it, and you'll see you will have this happiness that you deserve. And then we have the blind spot. Yeah, so the scotoma is a blind spot. So that can be like something everybody sees but you. And quite often, if we're blinded by love, or just thinking, hey, there's all these people that I know that are saying, oh no, they're the best person, you make such a great couple, it's so much fun, da 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 da, like that kind of energy. And so it's having a blind spot and not being able to see something, and also talking about the windshield is bigger than the rear view mirror for a reason, because if you're looking through the windshield, you're moving forward. And so this is talking about the blind spots can be like something that you knew and everybody else didn't. You might have even known something about this person that you knew this about them, and so you excuse this energy, because the temperance energy is represented. It's an angel, and it's about devotion to your path. And so you may have known something about this person that you excused a lot of their behavior, even knowing that they were like they had this deceptive quality, but you chose to give them a chance because no one else would. And quite often this energy represents earth angel energy. And so a lot of people feel God sends angels down to earth to help guide people and to get them into a place where they can feel love again, or love for the first time, to understand what it feels like to feel unconditional love and be able to move forward. And so maybe you could see way more about the situation, but you still trusted your friends that they would, like if you said, I think there's something fishy here, and they're like, oh no, it looked like, yeah, it's just your imagination, da da da. And they were part of it, right? And so this is talking about having harmony now. So this is in 26, it's going to be a different cycle. And I feel like, you don't even need to be searching for love, or, you don't want to, it's just going to, it'll happen if it's supposed to. That's the energy. And then the manifestation. So getting back into a place where you can feel passionate again about manifesting in life again and moving forward. And what better way than to start up some sort of group or whatever you're doing here, and to empower people that have been in this situation. And then we have the Taurus energy coming in. And see, this is about Venus again. So this is the give and take. This energy is saying, like, this is right on here, and how you manifest now. So this is saying you were like a toddler, basically, in the give and take in life. For some reason, maybe you gave too much of yourself and you had too much trust for people. And that's a choice that you made to be that way. And then now you have a much more mature understanding of the give and take in life. And so you're not going to make the same mistakes that you did back then, kind of energy. And then we have the Sagittarius energy coming in, wanting adventure and moving forward on your journey. And these people, they didn't expect to get caught. So their foolish actions have got them nowhere. This is what, where's the... Here, this is about how much money they made. One pentacle to divide between them all. And, they need to hire lawyers here because they've been caught. And there might be even, some sort of convictions. This is, it's just a foolish reading. But it's life. It's how life is. And so these daily readings, I never know what's going to come up in them. So this is a story of healing. That's what I would say. I feel that whatever happened to you has inspired you to heal, and also to empower others to heal. So there we have it. If you've enjoyed this reading, please do like and comment, and subscribe to the channel if you resonate with the energy. I wish you all the best if this is your situation. Bye for now. I will have another reading tomorrow.